Today's subject, Phelous.
I don't like this movie, doesn't look too friendly. This monster seems so big, my nerves are gonna break. Phelous, don't let me down, you need to be around. Grab that running one up and blast that sing a new one. This movie looks shitty. Phelous, so Phelous, bring a multi-comedy of Phelous, so Phelous, and some horror movies of Phelous, so Phelous. I don't care about how you sound, but Phelous, so Phelous, what's your opinion about?
That was his ending theme song. Anyway, if you remember my review of Kick-Assia, this scene inspired me.
Phallus, send the signal to sound the charge.
Okay, first of all, it's Phelous, not Phallus.
So from now on, I too shall refer to Phelous as Phallus. Today's subject, Phallus.
My first Phallus experience...
Okay, on second thought, I think I will just refer to him as Phelous. That was weird.
...was when he reviewed Troll 3, the one where the plants attack people. I enjoyed the review, but he didn't stick, and I didn't even think about Phelous again until he reviewed the other Troll 3, the Altor sequel. But even then, the only part that really stayed with me was the cinema snob's rape face. On the other hand, I loved Phelous in Kick-Assia and even Suburban Nights, even if he is playing me if I had actual comedy talent.
I said say hello!
Hello, Nabbit Objects.
They'll be watching you.
Oh no, Phelous. We're watching you.
Kill your family. Kill your family.
It'll kill my family. Oh, mother.
Now that I am reviewing him, I can analyze him and dissect him, and any real-life incident that involves Phelous being dissected is completely coincidental and has nothing to do with me. Anyway, where was I? Oh yeah, and I have to try to find out why people like him. So using every equation I had in the reviewer reviewing book, I deduced the truth behind why people enjoy his videos.
Because they find him funny. Man, where would you guys be if there was no critiquing the critics to tell you this stuff?
Really though, I'm surprised Phelous hasn't suffered the anti-caustic critic backlash as much as other That Got the Glasses members have. When you do try to break everything down about his videos, he is about as conventional and cliched as a reviewer could be, representing everything that is slowly killing off That Got the Glasses. Overacting, overreacting, cameos, characters, crossovers, profanity, After Effects, plots, running gags, and in-jokes that don't even make any sense unless you start from the beginning of the show. And it's all washed down by a healthy dose of meta-humor, because really these days having meta-humor is also a cliche. Oh my god, I'm a cliche, aren't I? Where was I? One of the more prominent gags, though, seems to be that Phelous is very aware of these conventions, so apparently that makes it okay. It's funny to watch my earlier stuff, which is an ironic statement because those videos aren't really funny, and see how I used to champion the caustic critic style, but now sigh in exasperation whenever I see it used again and again. It's a trend. Trends get old, and I know I'm not the only one tired of it. People complain about this shit all the time. My red flag system was actually designed for these more subjective complaints. Like if someone is just being a typical caustic critic, complete with all those cliches. And Phelous, he's a red flag nightmare. In fact, I'm even going to create a red flag just for Phelous, named after Phelous, because nothing else can do that justice.
Yet Phelous also proves that even with all this stuff that I've become disillusioned with, it can be redeemed with good comic timing and high energy.
Yes, this is a positive review. Even though I am sick of this style, I can appreciate guys like the Cinema Snob who are creative with that style, and I will always enjoy your web show if you appeal to my sense of humor, regardless of the unoriginal concept. I'm not entirely sure if I can explain why I think Phelous is funny, because comedy never can really be explained. It can only be experienced. But I'll try. Phelous, as I've indicated, is a caustic critic who reviews horror films, past and present, obscure and popular, so you know the usual. So now that you know what he does, let's bring up the reviewer Triforce and explore the works of Phelous. The main priority is humor, so his videos live or die based on that. He does lack quotable jokes, making him less like the nostalgia critic and a little more like the angry video game nerd, but the reviewer he reminds me the most of is Shitcase Cinema. Both reviewers just want to entertain as they riff, sometimes affectionately, whatever they're reviewing. The humor is less about the dialogue and more about the reactions. I'd say they're more amusing than hilarious, but that amusement is consistent. Guys like The Critic have great videos and bad videos, but Phelous always seems to have a solid balance, and rarely have I left a video of his disappointed.
Alright, let's get on to Crocodile. Oh, got it. See? The movie Crocodile. Pretty funny, right?
His delivery also seems designed to annoy me, but it doesn't. His tone never really changes. He always speaks like this, like he's not being paid to watch movies that aren't usually as bad as he makes them out to be.
Hello, and welcome to my review of Why the Movie, also known as Cabin Fever 2.
But sometimes he gets to sound sarcastic.
There's a big change for Cabin Fever 2 versus the first one, being that Eli who faced Roth wasn't involved.
And since Idiot Gorefests are pretty much Eli Roth's calling card, what is Cabin Fever without him? Nothing! There was nothing else to Cabin Fever than that. So Cabin Fever 2 is nothing! Review done? Oh, I seriously wish, but let's go over the stupid thing.
Hey guys, this is Blake here. I'm interrupting this episode of Critiquing the Critics in order to insert a mini episode of Guidelines Not Sucking at Video Reviewing. What is today's subject? Don't do impersonations when you suck at them. Meta. That's pretty much all I have for this little episode, so let me get back into character and I'll go ahead and start critiquing the critics back up again. Okay, kill, name, toys.
I usually loathe unchanging tones, but not this time, and once again, I just think his comic timing works. He never pauses in the wrong place, he never stumbles on his words, and he never ever comes across as robotic. I really envy him on that point. But he's also never shrill or overbearing. It makes his videos easy to enjoy, so he gets an arrow pointing up because he's funny. Or at least I think he's funny. Now let's jump to the technical aspects of his reviews. They're great. What would you expect here? I love the background, it's very nicely framed, the color scheme and props provide a nice contrast, the lighting is flawless, and the video and audio are crystal clear. The editing drives the pacing wonderfully, and the costumes, After Effects, etc., are solid when they are used. The videos can range from 15 to 20 minutes long, so not too short, but also not agonizingly long either. Arrow goes up because they're good, but an arrow also goes to the humor because it's often used to enhance the jokes. If there is one real criticism, it's with his, criticism. He does make some good points, some being very insightful, but this is mixed in with some really unreasonable complaints, and of course there's a lot of nitpicking. Nitpicking is very, very common in these types of reviews because that's really where the humor is going to come from. So take that as you will. The second point I need to make about his criticism is a little bit more complicated. I've been giving Doug a lot of crap lately, but Doug has one skill that none of his imitators have pulled off. Doug is somehow able to capture the entire movie within the runtime of his review. You feel like you know and understand everything that happened in the film, even if you have not seen it. With Phelous, I just don't feel this way. It feels more like he's just using a handful of scenes that are easy to riff on, but are also loosely connected, so at least you're not completely lost. A lot of the stuff he's covered that I've seen has left me wondering why he left this or that out. But even that is more of a missed opportunity than it is a fault. Phelous is just there to make fun of a movie, not to critique or analyze it. Any actual criticism is just a side bonus. So you have to decide whether or not that sounds like a valid complaint to you. It doesn't even always bother me. I probably wouldn't have even noticed if I wasn't reviewing him. But since the point of his videos is to entertain and amuse, and I was entertained and amused, I consider Phelous to be a success. It just goes to show that you can take on an overused gimmick, and if you're funny enough, it can work. I'm giving him a 3-star rating. If you like these types of reviewers, check him out. If you don't, well, give him a look anyway. I think he's funny enough that everybody should at least give him a chance.
And once again, where would you guys be if I were not around to tell you to go watch reviewers whom you've probably already seen? Anyway, that's my review of Phelous. If you want to check out his videos, just look at the links in my description. Now for something totally different.
Robert Millian recently released the Golden Critics Awards, and while I did not appear in his video, I was actually one of the judges. So if you agree with who the winner is, that was probably my decision. If you don't, that was probably somebody else's decision, because I am always right.
Plus, where else do you get to see Robert Millian rape Shark Wang?
Come on, Matt. Come on. No!
And I am totally not taking that out of context. Thanks for watching, guys. Please comment, subscribe, and donate all of your money. My name is Marshall Hoare, and I'm here to tell you that those who cannot do, critique.